There we go. There we go. Reading the Book of Giants. We are in part 3. And chapter 3. Look at that. Manichaean version of the Book of Giants. Ruth, what's going on? How was Christmas? Was it lovely? Such nice time off. Such great time off. That's what I enjoyed. It was... It's... That's good, right? That's a good thing. Usually that's a good thing. Oh, nope. Your son had to work on Christmas? What does he do? That's such a bummer. Works at a ski resort. Ah. I suppose that... How many people are skiing on Christmas, actually? I was about to be like, oh, that makes sense. But no, it doesn't. No, it does not. Who is skiing on Christmas? Rich people. That is who. I answered my own question. Good old rich people. Skiing on Christmas. They got it so good they don't even need Christmas. David. Hey family, I missed all of you, but I love the photos. Yeah, I'm gonna post a bunch more. Kat, so we do this thing. Actually, I don't claim this. Kat does this thing where she sets up this beautiful Christmas wonderland on our dining room table and then puts animals on it and takes beautiful pictures of them. And it's fantastic. It looks totally professional, but it's really funny to watch, like, from 15 feet away. The pictures look phenomenal, but watching the pictures being taken, that perspective is really funny. So I got some really good pictures of that. So I'll share some of that later. But hopefully everybody had like a good Christmas. Oh, there she is. Crap, I didn't think she would be here. You just heard me, and that's unfortunate. Love you. If you texted or messaged me the last day, please know I had a snaky doggy kitty photo shoot to do that went on today. Yeah, it was the longest process of everything we've done, was the animal photography. For sure. For sure. But it is a very good time. And she's very cute while she does it. So, loved it. Good stuff. Good stuff. We'll wait like another minute or two, and then we're gonna roll. I'm gonna hard out at 7. We're trying to do a little bit more family stuff before I go back to everything like normal tomorrow. So, gonna squeeze it in while we can. Not unfortunate, so sweet. Love you, Ghost, especially your thoughts. Yeah, I concur on that. I love and hate Ghost thoughts. It's a love-hate ambivalence that I have regarding his theories and thoughts, because they at times completely destroy a notion that I have, and it forces me to rethink the notion, which I love and hate. It's good stuff, but terribly annoying. Terribly annoying. Okay. I had to mess with all the audio again because technology hates me. So just let me know if something's off, if music is too loud, if I'm too low, whatever. Just let me know. I think I got it okay in a panic before we started, but we will see. So we have already read. Intake from me can be annoying, says Tenacious Thorn Leon. I feel like you've been here before. Are you on Discord? Remind me, I'm sorry, I'm suck at this, but if you're not here like every time, I have a really hard time remembering. So I'm terribly sorry. But if you're in Discord, what's your name there? So I can connect the dots. We read the introduction. We read the Aramaic version of the Book of Giants, which was difficult to read because the translations, what we have, just as like a recap, I guess. And go listen to them if you didn't, but twice before. Okay, because your YouTube name looked familiar, but not super familiar. Well, good to have you. So the Aramaic version, we are missing so much of it that the fragments, like putting it together, is like doing a puzzle with, I'd say 70%, 65% of the puzzle pieces and trying to make the rest of the puzzle make sense and give you a clear depiction of something. That was kind of the Aramaic version. This will not be much different. If you've read this before, you know what I'm talking about. It's very similar. It's fragmented. It's difficult to read. I have a personal problem with reading names. So reminder or heads up that I'm terrible at it, but I will do my best. But beyond just me and my inadequacy, it's also severely fragmented. So it's difficult. So that'll be the Manichaean version. And then it looks like the history of the Book of Enoch, which is good context. And then the Book of Enoch, including the Book of Giants. So the full context or fuller context, which will be really good. So the Manichaean version of the Book of Giants. Fragments of and allusions to the Manichaean version of the Book of Giants have been recovered in medieval manuscripts in various languages, including Middle Persian, Sajian, Uyghur, Coptic, Uyghur. There's no way I'm saying that right. I'm so ignorant. Coptic, Parthian, and Latin. What is that? I feel like it's something I should know how to say. Uyghur. Will somebody give me the proper pronunciation?
Uyghur.
Is it Uyghur? Okay.
Isn't that Cenk Uygur's last name?
Is that how it's spelled?
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Verifying. Yeah, you're totally right. It's identical. Wow. What does Uyghur mean? Now I'm curious. Like, what the hell? A member of Wait. No, that's a stage name, bro. A member of a Turkic people of northwestern China, particularly the Xinjiang region and adjoining areas, the Turkic language of the Uyghur. There's no way that's his legal name, right? Because his show is The Young Turks.
Is that a stage name? I always assumed it was his real name.
That can't be right. That cannot possibly be right. Oh my God.
The fact that they chose Young Turks is really weird to me.
Wild. Wild. I think about that periodically and I'm like, wow. It is. Cenk Kadir Uyghur. That's why. That's insane. Born in 1970. Wow. Well, if this ends up being a bust, at least we learned something. That's crazy. I was convinced that was a stage name. Shalom, Eli Smith. What's going on? I guess, yeah, let's do the housekeeping real quick. If you're watching this later or you haven't hung out with us before, we do 3 of these a week. We have a Discord. There's a Discord pinned to the top of the live chat. There's also a link to the Discord in the description of the video. It's all very low key. We're just a bunch of people who like to read stuff together. And we have 2 YouTube channels we do this on. So tonight, every Thursday night, is an extra canonical text. So we read a Mesopotamian story the past 3-4 weeks. We're now going to read the Book of Giants, which is obviously not a part of the canon. And that's Thursday. Sunday, we do a canonical Bible study. So right now we're in Genesis and we're going to read through the entire Bible chronologically. So in order, not in the order it is in your Bible, in actual chronological order. Tuesday is a live topic discussion. So we post a poll every week. Everybody votes in the poll. And then whatever wins is what we talk about. And then I think we're going to start doing game night. We did it last Saturday. It was super fun. So we're going to do it again this week. And we play Jackbox, where you can get on your phone, you put a link in, you join the game, and you actually get to play. There's like trivia, there's drawing games. It was absolutely hilarious. It was a great time. So we're going to start doing that at least as much as possible on the weekend, at least a couple times a month, but see if we can do it every week. But that's what we do. So the Discord's place to be. It'll show you which YouTube channel we're on when we're doing these things. And as long as you're not crazy or very self-righteous, I think you would love the people that we have too, because everybody's very cool and open. Where can one find all the books of giants? I can't tell if that is a sarcastic question or if it is a genuine question. So if you could clarify, then maybe somebody here could help you. Question: how can the fallen angels from Enoch be teaching the forbidden knowledge of root cutting when Adam, DNA emoji, is first position fallen angel Nephilim gardener? Genesis 2:15, son of God. Taught the knowledge of root cutting before the fallen angels till the day he dies. I don't know if you actually want me to answer that, or if this is a more of a rhetorical question. If anybody wants to take that on, I'd be happy.
I don't even understand the wording.
So I'm a bit confused about what the actual question is, and root cutting has a couple of different definitions, I guess, depending on who you're talking to. So if you want to clarify, I guess, or try to word it in a different way, I'm sure somebody will jump on that. Here we are again. Good evening, fellow theists. Good evening, Mikkel, the man.
Oh,
All
Joe,
right.
could you put on the chat? It's disabled for stream.
Yes, let me see. Let me try to reload it. Boom. Okay, it shows for me. I only have so much room for writing. Well, you know what solves that is Discord, which is why we use Discord. So I know for a fact, if you take your question and you type it out thoughtfully in Discord, in either theology or the Bible, those sections, I guarantee you'll get an answer. Whether you like it or not, I don't know. But I guarantee you'll get an answer. Back to this. Okay, so the following is a summary of the surviving fragments and allusions, which has been placed in a sequence which reveals a logical storyline. There could be other possible sequences of the fragmented verses. Some of the Manichaean versions adapted the story of the giants to fit Iranian mythology, which we talked a little bit about when we were finishing up the Mesopotamian text, because there is a lot of mirroring between the cultures. Iran is one of them. No world in which I pronounce this next word right. Skiervo, I don't know. SKJ, AERVO. Someone can school me if you know how to say that. Discusses the adaptations at length. 3 of the most striking adjustments have to do with the names of major characters. Sam is the name of an immortal dragon slayer. Here we go. In later Iranian epic. His name is given to the giant Ohia. Ohia's brother, Hahia, is given the name Nariman, who in Iranian epic is a figure closely connected to Sam, either identified with him or presented as one of his close relatives. The name of the father of the giant, Mahoe, the demon, Virogdad. Best I got, means given by lightning in Persian. A loose translation of Barakel, which is Hebrew for lightning of God. The watcher Barakel seems to be the father of Mahoe in the Aramaic version of the Book of Giants. Okay, interesting. So that's interesting context, I guess, especially with what we had read previously, if you remember. I know it was like a month ago at this point. Following is a synopsis of the storyline of the Manichaean version of the Book of Giants. Pray I find my debit card and cash. Thank you. Definitely will. I'm sorry if you lost it somewhere. That is an extremely stressful thing to deal with. The 200 demons descended to earth. The Watchers forsook their duties and descended to earth because of the beauty of the human women. Some thought they could resist the allure, but they could not. Shocking. They began having sex with the women. The demons revealed forbidden arts and spiritual mysteries. If you read Enoch, you know what they're talking about. Some shared their power to seduce the women. In doing these things, the Watchers brought ruin on the earth. The descent from their estate and revealing to humans their secrets of power angered the angels of God. Enoch warned that the coming of the 200 demons, Watchers, will lead only to hurting speech and hard labor. Watchers,
Joe,
yes.
do you know when this was written? Because in the book of Enoch, in the book of First Enoch, it says the demons were the spirits of the dead Nephilim, so the Watchers wouldn't be demons, at least according to First Enoch.
Let me see. So best I've got here, and I feel like we looked into this when we first started, but was 3rd century. So
Okay, that makes sense then.
right. So
This was like 400, 500, 600 years after First Enoch.
This was a part of the Dead Sea discovery in 48.
Okay.
And they're dating it. It looks like 4 sources, aggregate AI, are saying that it's 3rd century. So yeah, I guess that would make sense.
So somewhere along the way, whoever wrote it conflated the different ideas into one.
Right. Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
I didn't even really think about it, to be honest with you. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, that is what it seems to be. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you.
So the Watchers are not demons?
No, it's implied that they had physical bodies, as to mate, etc. But their offspring died in the flood, and the memory of those offspring persisted, which would become demons in my perspective.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Hmm.
I guess some of it will, well, I guess it'll be interesting when we get to the full compilation at the end of this text is the Book of Enoch and the Book of Giants, like together. So we'll stop when we get to some of the points that I'll stop at some of mine, and Ghost can cut me off when we get to some of his, that kind of leads us to have the belief about the Watchers that he and I at least seem to kind of have a similar view on it. Let's see. So Enoch warned that the coming of the 200 demons or Watchers will lead only to hurting speech and hard labor. Watchers subjugated the human race, killing hundreds of thousands of the righteous in battle, forcibly marrying beautiful women, and enslaving the nations. The Watchers veil, which seems to mean they hid themselves among humans to keep the angels sent from God from finding them. The righteous endured burning, and Enoch is mentioned. The Watcher, oh god, this is one of the ones. Samizad, or Samihaza. If anybody knows pronunciation, feel free to rudely cut me off.
I've always said it Shemyaza. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to remember. Begat 2 giant sons, Sam, Ohia, Ohia, and Patsam. Ahia, Hahia. This is so embarrassing. The other demons and Yaksas begat the rest of the giants. These are the Nephilim. There's a note here. Versions of the book of the... Well, I thought somebody was going to say something. Versions of the Book of the Giants were influenced by local traditions. The names of Ohia and Sam were introduced via myths pertaining to the Iranian hero. This explains the immortality of Sam, the name of the country of Arnya Vazan, or Ariana Velha, and the change of the mountains to Ming Mountains.
These names are...
Oh, it's brutal. They're
so hard. They take you out of the story because you're trying to figure out the name.
I know.
And you miss what it's trying to talk about.
Yes, just need to like breeze past, just ignore it when I start mispronouncing the names. I assume the K is silent on that. Ming Mountains, but
Yeah.
I could be totally making this up. Substituting for Mount Hermon reflect changes due to influence by local myths, names, the landscape, and terrain. The giants grew up and brought destruction and ruin upon the earth and the human race. The lamentations of humanity reached up to heaven. The god Yima accepted the prayers and worship of mankind as they begged him for help. The giants boasted that Sam and his brother would live and rule forever because their power and strength were unequal among men. This is a possible parallel to the Aramaic version of Gilgamesh, which is why we read Gilgamesh, is because we were getting some references to it in the first part of this book. So now we've read it and at least have a relatively recent, very rough overview and remembrance of it. The giant Hobabis, or Humbaba, which we definitely remember from Gilgamesh, robbed another of his wife. The giants argued amongst themselves and began killing one another and other creatures. Sam and his brother were mentioned. Sam had a dream in which a tablet was thrown in water. The tablet contained 3 signs, portending woe, battle, and destruction. Ahriman had a dream about a garden full of trees in rows. He saw 200 trees. A list of proverbs was recited. Nariman reported what he saw in the dream. In the dream, some were weeping and lamenting, and many others were sinful rulers. The giant Mahoe, son of Virogdad, or Barakel, wanted to seek out Enoch. As he flew, he heard a voice as the sun began to rise, warning him. The heavenly voice told him that if he had flown too high, the sun would set his wings on fire. Sound familiar to anybody? Do you know the story? The voice told him he must descend. The voice guided him to Enoch, who hails him and meets him. This seems to be an adaptation of the Icarus myth. Everybody should know Icarus. If you don't know the story of Icarus, definitely something to look up and at least kind of have it in the back of your head. He lands and the voice leads him to, as he approached, Enoch hailed him. The dream was recounted to Enoch, who interpreted the dream, indicating that the trees represent the egregori, Greek for watchers, and the same as the Grigori. It's Grigori, right? Second G silent, Grigori. He also mentioned
Grigori.
right? Okay.
And in Sumeria, they were known as the Agigi.
Agigi. That's right. Wasn't there something? Hold on.
If you're thinking of egregore, that's a different concept.
No, yeah, totally different. Yeah, the Anunnaki.
Well, the Anunnaki were seen as the gods, and the Agigi were seen as the slaves.
Were they seen as slaves?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong. I think they were, though. They were seen as workers.
Okay. I'm thinking of something else then. Yeah, Sumerian. I feel like we already kind of concluded last time that Sumerian is something I need to brush back up on. I don't remember nearly enough. Okay, the trees pulled out. No. He also mentioned the giants who were born of women. The trees are pulled up. Mahoe was ordered not to run away, but to bring the message with the message written on 2 stone tablets, showing it first to Nariman. He brought them to share the contents of 1 tablet with the giants. However, the content pertained to the demons. Shamizad, right? It was close to that. Shamizad told him to read the writing to Enoch or have Enoch read it. Enoch delivered a message of judgment to the demons and their children, telling them that they will have no peace and that they will see the destruction of their children, or the giants. He stated the giants ruled for 120 years. Enoch predicted an era of earthly fertility and birth after the flood. Sam exhorted the other giants to cheer up and eat, but they were too sorrowful to eat, and instead they fell asleep. Mahaway went to Atunbush, or Utnapishtim. This is probably another name for Enoch. Interesting. And told him everything. That's interesting. That's something I want to look at later. Give me 1 second to make a note. I want to check that. Anbush Udnapistem. This is probably another name for Enoch. And told him everything. When Mahaway returned, Sam had a dream in which he ascended to heaven. He saw the water of the earth consumed with heat. A demon came out of the water. Some beings, the protecting spirits, were invisible, but he saw the heavenly rulers. Here, the text is not clear. Sam or Shamizad and Mahaway had a conversation. Mahaway mentioned his father, Virugdad, or Barakel. There are references to weapons and blessings on someone who witnessed something not intended for them to see, but he escaped with his life. Sam and Mahaway searched for something. Assurance was given to Mahaway that he will be protected from Sam, but nevertheless, Sam and Mahaway argued and began to fight. Keep in mind, these appear to be brothers. The wicked demons were glad to see the apostle, or Enoch. They gathered before him, begging for mercy and promising to reform their ways. They hoped for him to intervene. Enoch warned the demons that they would be placed in fire and taken to face eternal damnation. The demons believed they would never lose their power, but they did not know their power would not matter. He also addressed their sinful, misbegotten sons, or the giants, and described how the righteous will fly over the fire of damnation and gloat over the souls inside it. Damn, brutal. The demons took some heavenly helpers hostage. As a result, the angels descended from heaven, terrifying the 200 demons, who took human form and hide among human beings. This was called veiling. The angels separated out of the human beings and posted a watch over them. The angels seized the giants from the demons and led them, the children of the giants, to safety in 32 distant towns prepared for them by the living spirit at Aryan Wezen, the traditional homeland of the Indo-Iranians, in the vicinity of the sacred Mount Sumeru, and other mountains. These people originated the arts and crafts. The 200 demons fought a massive and fiery battle with the 4 angels. 200 demons were the 200 watchers of fallen angels of the Aramaic version. Attenbush battled, accompanied by watchers and giants, and 3 of the giants were killed. An angel and other beings were also killed. Ohia and Ahia resolved to keep their promise to do battle, and they boast of their power and strength. God commanded 4 angels to bind the egregore with everlasting chains in a dark prison, and the angels annihilated their children. Even before the rebellion of the egregore, this prison had been built for them under the mountains. In addition, 36 towns had been prepared for the habitation of the wicked and long-lived sons of the giants before they were even born. Ohia or Ahia, the primordial monster Leviathan, and the archangel Raphael engaged in a great battle, and they vanished, quote unquote. Author's note: according to one tradition, Ohia survived the flood and fought this battle after the flood. There is a myth of a watcher named Og surviving the flood. This attempts to answer the question as to where giants such as Goliath came from. According to the legend, Noah had mercy on Og, who was found clinging to the ark after the water had risen and set the ark afloat. Og clung to the door of the ark until the waters receded. During the flood, Noah fed the giant. After the flood was over, Og went on his way. Give me 1 second. I want to throw that in Discord real quick because I want to look into this more later. Oh, it's not going to let me. All right, I'll just mark the page. That's an interesting theory. A very interesting theory. Okay. Oh, we got a little debate going on. I look forward to reading that later. In another legend, Og was so tall, the waters only covered his feet. Another legend has him going to Palestine, where there was no flood. So 3 different theories. The Jewish Encyclopedia states, Amorite king of Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and was conquered by Moses and Israel in the battle of Edrei, or Edria, 60 fortified cities with high walls, gates, and bars, comprising the region of Argob, being taken and given to the children of Mashir, son of Manasseh. Og was one of the giants of the remnant of the Raphaim. His iron bedstead in Rabath and capital of Ammon is described as having been 9 cubits in length and 4 cubits in breadth. Okay, they've got references there. In rabbinical literature, Og was not destroyed at the time of the flood, for according to one legend, the waters reached only to his ankles. Another tradition states that he fled to Palestine where there was no flood, while according to a third legend, he sat on a rung of the ladder outside the ark, and after he had sworn to be a slave to Noah and his children, received his food each day through a hole made in the side of the ark. Og was known also as Ha-Palit. It was Og who brought the news to Abraham of the captivity of Lot. This he did, however, with an evil motive, for he thought that Abraham would seek to release Lot and would be killed in battle with the great kings, and that he, Og, would be able to marry the beautiful Sarah. A long lease of life was granted him as a reward for informing Abraham, but because of his sinister motive, he was destined to be killed by the descendants of Abraham. Og was present at the banquet which Abraham gave on the day Isaac was weaned. As Og had always declared that Abraham would beget no children, the guests teasingly asked him what he had to say now that Abraham had begotten Isaac. Whereupon Og answered that Isaac was no true descendant, since he could kill Isaac with one finger. It was in punishment for this remark, one legend declares, that he was condemned to live to see 100,000 descendants of Abraham, and to be killed in battle against them. When Jacob went to Pharaoh and blessed him, Og was present, and the king said to him, the grandson of Abraham, who, according to thy words, was to have no descendants, is now here with 70 of them. As Og cast an evil eye upon the children of Israel, God foretold that he would fall into their hands. The death of Og. During the battle of Edrei, Og sat on the city wall, his legs, which were 18 ells long, reaching down to the ground. Moses did not know what monster he had before him until God told him that it was Og. Og hurled an entire mountain against Israel, but Moses intercepted it. According to another legend, Og uprooted a mountain 3 miles long, intending to destroy all Israel at once by hurling it upon their camp, which was also 3 miles in length. But while he was carrying it upon his head, a swarm of locusts burrowed through it, of course, so that it fell round his neck. When he attempted to throw off this unwieldy necklace, long teeth grew from both sides of his mouth and kept the mountain in place. What a detailed story. Thereupon Moses, who was himself 10 ells tall, took an axe of equal length, jumped upward 10 ells, so that he could reach Og's ankles, and thus killed him. Of course. Shabbat and Urubin also indicate that Og was regarded as an unusually large giant. A legend says that a gravedigger pursued a stag 3 miles inside of one of Og's bones without reaching the other end. Peace. The Manichaean version states that 3,200 280 years passed between the time of Enoch and the time of King Vishtasp, who ruled at the time of the prophet Zoroaster, who along with the Buddhist and Christ was an apostle who came before the final apostle Mani. That's actually really interesting. 280 years passed between the time of Enoch. I'm reading something again, just so you don't think you're crazy. 280 years passed between the time of Enoch and the time of King Vishtasp. The Buddhist and the Christ. That's really interesting. Before the final apostle Mani. This draws a connection from Enoch to the great prophets and then to Mani. They place Mani on their same spiritual level. And places on their same spiritual level. It's very interesting. I'm interested in what you guys are talking about. Fragments of the Book of Giants were written in Kawan, which is a Middle Persian language. Kaiwan? The fragments were so small and broken, it has proved impossible so far to reestablish the original order of the pages. That is terrible. So disappointing. In the text below, some of the order is uncertain, unreadable, or missing portions of the text are signified by ... within the text.
Here we go.
Here we go again, baby, just like that first one.
Oh, man.
So I am going to save everybody, and I'm going to save everybody. And when the ... comes up on the screen, I'm just going to take a long pause instead of saying blank or something like that. When it makes sense, I'll do that. When I have to, like the beginning here, I'll make it obvious what's going on. So this section begins with a blank. Hard, arrow, bow. He that Sam said, blessed be, had he seen this, he would not have died. Then Shamizadad said to Sam, his son, all that Mahaway, are these are the same names, but they're spelling them different. There's a blank after that. Is spoiled. Thereupon he said to, we are, until, and, that are in the fiery hell. As my father, Virogdad, was, Shamizadad said, it is true what he says. He says one of thousands. For one of thousands, Sam thereupon began Mahuai, two, in many places, until to that place he might escape, and then it ends with the blank. This is going to be rough. Next paragraph, again, begins with the blank. Virogdad, Hobabus, robbed Ahir of his wife. Thereupon the giants began to kill each other and to abduct their wives. The creatures, too, began to kill each other. Sam, before the sun, one hand in the air, the other, whatever he obtained, to his brother. Imprisoned, over to the angels, from heaven to...
I wonder how much is missing in between. Like, is it just a few words, or is it like pages?
It's gonna be no. I don't think it's I mean, I can't tell you for sure, but I don't think it's pages because of the way it's flowing. It probably ranges from anywhere from like a word to a handful of words. If I had to guess, otherwise it would be like totally. I think it would be totally unintelligible.
Unless they just thought they put the words where they thought made sense.
Well, they do that. So, I mean, I wouldn't be super surprised. A lot of it is guesswork for sure. But with how much is missing, it kind of instills confidence that maybe they didn't just make a lot of stuff up or try to guess. Because this is pretty brutal to read. There's so much missing. Oh, you guys are into it over there. All right, was thrown into the water. Finally, in his sleep, saw 3 signs. 1 portending, 1 woe in flight, and 1 annihilation. Nariman saw a garden full of trees and rows. 200 came out the trees. End of paragraph. Next paragraph begins with missing text. Enoch the apostle gave a message to the demons and their children. To you, not peace. The judgment on you is that you shall be bound for the sins you have committed. You shall see the destruction of your children. Ruling for 120 years. Wild ass, ibex, ram, goat, gazelle, oryx of each 200 a pair. The other wild beasts, birds, and animals and their wine shall be 6,000 jugs. Irritation of water, and their oil shall be father nuptials until the completion of his infighting, and in the nest Ohia and Ahia he said to his brother, get up and we will take what our father has ordered us to. The pledge we have given, something something battle. And the giants together, not the, this is, I guess I should say, this is now a quote. So this is somebody speaking, not the of the lion, but the on his, not the other. This is unintelligible. I'm just going to skip. They're missing too much there. Not the sharpness of the blade, but the strength of the ox. Not the blank eagle, but his wings. Not the blank gold, but the brass that hammers it. Not the proud ruler, but the diadem of his head. Diadem of his head. Not the splendid cypress, but the blank of the mountain. And then it ends with missing text. The next paragraph begins with missing text. Not he that engages in quarrels, but he that is true in his speech. Not the evil fruit, but the poison in it. Not that they are placed in the skies, but the God of all worlds. Not the servant is proud, but the Lord that is above him. Not one that is sent, missing text, but the man that sent him. Thereupon Nariman, blank, said, blank, and in another place I saw those that were weeping from the ruin that had befallen them, and whose cries and laments rose up to heaven. And also I saw another place where there were tyrants and rulers, blank, in great numbers, who had lived in sin and evil deeds when blank ends with missing text. Next paragraph begins, you guessed it, with missing text. Many blank were killed, 400,000 righteous blank with fire, naphtha, and brimstone. Missing text. And the angels veiled or covered or protected or moved out of sight, Enoch. Out of sight of Enoch? Protected or, oh, they moved out of sight of Enoch. Chose and extracted and listened, blank, and ravished them. They chose beautiful women and demanded, blank, them in marriage. Sorted, blank, all, blank, carried off, blank, severally. They were subjected to tasks and services, and they blank from each city, blank, and were ordered to serve the blank. The Messenians were directed to prepare the Cusians, I don't know. I'm sorry. To sweep and water the Persians to blank. On the 5 elements is the next title for text. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted trying to pick up little pieces of what you guys are talking about. Begins with missing text. Slaying, missing text. Righteous, missing text. Good deeds, missing text. Elements. The crown, the diadem, am I saying that right? Diadem, the garland, and the garment of life. Light. The 7 demons, like a blacksmith who binds or shuts, fastens, and looses or opens, detaches, missing text, who from the seeds of blank and serves the king, blank, offends, blank, when weeping, blank with mercy, blank, hand, blank, the pious gave, blank presents. Some bury the idols. The Jews did good and evil. Some make their God half demon, half God, blank, killing, blank, the 7 demons, blank, I, blank. End of paragraph. Next paragraph begins with missing text. Various colors that buy blank and bile. If blank from the 5 elements, as if it were a means not to die, they fill themselves with food and drink. Their garment is blank. This corpse, blank, and not firm, blank. Its ground is not firm, blank, like blank, imprisonment in this corpse, in bones, nerves, flesh, veins, and skin, and entered herself, as, into it. Then he, man, cries out over sun and moon, the just gods 2 flames, blank, over the elements, the trees and animals, but God, Zerwan, Z-R-W-A-N, in each epoch sends apostles, Zarathustra, Buddha, Zoroastrian, is that a Zoroastrian thing? Buddha and Christ. And then missing
Buddha.
text. Oh, yeah. We'll get into some of that. It sheds light. Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Christ will come up a number of times. Ends with missing text. Next section begins with missing text. Evil intentioned blank from where blank he came. The misguided recognize the 5 elements, the 5 kinds of trees, the 5 kinds of animals. End section. Next section is 3 words after a chunk of missing text. On the hearers. Next section begins with missing text. We receive missing text from Mani, the Lord, missing text. The 5 commandments to blank, the 3 seals, blank, living, blank, profession, blank, and wisdom, blank, moon. Rest from the power or deceit, blank, own. And keep measured the mixture, blank, trees and wells, into blank, water and fruit, milk, blank. He should not offend his brother. The wise hearer who, like unto juniper leaves, ends with missing text. Next section begins with missing text. Much profit is the end of the first sentence that is not complete. Like a farmer, blank, who sows seed, blank, in many, blank. The hearer who, missing text. Knowledge is like unto a man that threw the dish called frosag into milk. It became hard, not blank. The part that ruined, blank, at first heavy. Like, missing text first, missing text is honored, missing text might shine, missing text 6 days. The hearer who gives alms to the elect is like unto a poor man that presents his daughter to the king. He reaches a position of great honor. In the body of the elect, the food given to him as alms is purified in the same manner as a blank, that by fire and wind, missing text, beautiful clothes on a clean body, blank turn blank. Blank. Witness, blank fruit, blank trees, blank like firewood, blank like a grain, blank radiance. Yeah, after we've done this now for a few minutes, I think the missing text is minor. I believe contextually, like, most of it is probably relatively minor, but it's enough that, like, you're missing quite a bit. It's hard to get a firm grasp on what's happening, but it's flowing to some degree. It's just not a phenomenal flow, but it's there. The hearer in the world and the alms within the church are like unto a ship on the sea. The towing line is in the hand of the tower on shore. The sailor is on board the ship. The sea is the world. The ship is the blank. The blank is the alms. The tower is the blank. The tower is the blank. The towing line is the wisdom. Blank, the hearer, blank, is like unto the branch of a fruitless tree, blank, fruitless, blank, and the hearers, blank, fruit that, blank, pious deeds. The elect, the hearer, the Vahman, and like unto 3 brothers to whom some possessions were left by their father, a piece of land blank, seed. They became partners, blank. They reap and blank. The hearer, missing text, like missing text. Blank, an image of the king, cast of gold, blank, the king gave presents. The hearer that copies a book is like unto a sick man that gives his blank to a blank man. The hearer that gives his daughter to the church is like blank pledge, who father gave his son to blank learn blank to father pledge blank hearer. Unintelligible. Again, the hearer, missing text, is like missing text. Stumble blank is purified. To blank, the soul from the church is like unto the wife of the soldier of Roman who, missing text, gave the infantryman 1 shoe, blank, who, however, with the denarius, blank, was. The wind tore out 1, blank, he was abashed, blank, from the ground, missing text, ground, missing text. See, like there was probably a good chunk missing, because to me, and maybe I'm dull, that part didn't add up to me at all. Next section begins with missing text, has the word sent, and then there's more missing text. The hearer that makes 1 missing text is like unto a compassionate mother who had 7 sons, blank. The enemy killed all, blank. The hearer that, missing text, piety, and a well. 1 on the shore of the sea, 1 in the boat.
Hearer?
What's that?
Who is the hearer?
It depends. As described, let me see, he had it in the beginning. Most of the time it will be literal. So it would be the actual, like the audience of the text. But there is another description though for...
Seems important because it's capitalized.
I want to try to get you the actual theory here. Okay, I'm not going to find it, but the hearer refers to Enoch too. So the hearer for like a lot of canonical text would be literal. It'd be talking about the audience, the people. Enoch is also regarded as the hearer, and Ghost can definitely correct me or expand on this because Ghost is more Enoch literate than I am. But Enoch is referred to.
The prophet who was heard by the watchers and giants after they sent a giant named Maway to him.
Where are you reading?
I just Googled it. The hearer.
And what did it say again?
It said Enoch is the prophet who was heard by the watchers and giants after they sent a giant named Maway to him.
Okay, there you go. So Enoch, and then I know there's another there's a third kind of left field theory about who the hearer is or what the hearer is that I was trying to pull up for you, but I can't find it. If I find it later, I'll...
Similar to a watcher, like the watcher and the hearer, they're like similar.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like the whole underlying dynamic of Enoch, and then I guess of the Book of Giants too. And I'm sure there will be some expansion on it, especially when we get to the compilation of Enoch with the Book of Giants. Process. Ghost is our resident Enoch scholar. Yeah, I think Ghost knows more about Enoch than anybody here. Without a doubt, more than I do. So if
I'm certainly not an expert, but I mean, I know quite a bit about it.
You know quite a bit. Do you know of the third? I guess third to me, but there's another theory about the hearer, because you have like Enoch is kind of like the scholarly agreed upon who it is, and to me it seems like relatively obvious. In normal scripture, the hearer is the person, but there was like a third theory for the Book of Enoch in reference to who the hearer was, Do you know anything about that? I'm not remembering. I'm gonna try to.
I am not aware of that, but now I'm curious.
Okay.
I always thought it was Enoch or the audience, like you guys were saying.
Okay. Which I'm sure it is, but I remember reading some theory about. I'll try to find it. But it was like an interesting. It was an interesting take, but it was one of those ones where you kind of have to ignore some obvious things, in my opinion. But I'll try to find it. It's always interesting to look at that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Let me give myself a note. All right, I'll try to get that. What's 6:55? Cool. Okay, so let me see where this ends the translation. Cool. We'll be able to get probably to that point. The hearer that gives his daughter to the church, we read that, yada yada. Okay, so end of that section. Missing text, sent missing text. The hearer that makes one blank is like unto a compassionate mother who had 7 sons. Missing text. The enemy killed all blank. The hearer that blank, piety blank a well. One on the shore of the sea, one in the boat. He that is on shore tows him. Wait, we read the towing, didn't we? No, okay. He that is on shore tows him that is in the boat. He that is in the boat, blank sea, upwards to blank like a pearl blank diadem blank. End of section. New section. Begins with missing text. Church. Period. Like unto a man that, missing text, fruit and flowers, blank. Then they praise, blank, fruitful tree, blank. Like unto a man that brought a piece of land, that bought a piece of land. On that piece of land there was a well, and in that well a bag full of drachmas? I'm not familiar, but I am curious, so hold on a sec. This would be... Oh, it was a monetary unit of Greece. Nationally equal to 100 lepta. Replaced in 2002 by the euro. A silver coin of ancient Greece. There's no way I'm saying that right then. I totally butchered it, if that's the case. The king was filled with wonder, blank share, blank pledge, blank, end of section. Next begins with missing text. Numerous, missing, hearer. At blank like unto a garment, blank like blank, to the master, blank like blank. And a blacksmith, the goldsmith, blank to honor, the blacksmith to blank 1 to 1 TO2, and then blank. And that ends the translation. The Manichaean version of the Watchers were demons. In other versions, they are fallen angels. There we go. In most versions, the children of the Watchers were demons. But even in the earlier versions, there were Watchers that were considered so evil as to be Satan-like. Let us examine a few viewpoints of demons, devils, Watchers, and giants. This ought to be very interesting. And because of that, that's where we're going to stop. And because I have to go in 1 minute. But it's a good place to start. We got through a bunch of brutal stuff. And now we'll come back to none of that. And this will be really interesting. So demons, devils, Watchers, giants. We got a little bit of clarity on the angels versus demons. Choice of word usage. It's really interesting. There's a couple things I'm going to get into later tonight. It's very thought-provoking. Even looking at the true translations that we've read so far, between the Aramaic and the Manichaean version, there are some stark contrasts that I find really interesting. And I want to try to read whatever happened in the chat there. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to move it to Discord? What's that?
It's entertaining.
Okay. Well, that's worth it. Entertaining is good. I hope it moves to Discord. If it's worth it. If it's worth it.
I don't know if Ghost would agree.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm speaking too soon.
Depends on the day.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm out in a minute. So real fast again, recap. We have a Discord, Boss Music Video. Yeah, there's a Discord because some of you are definitely new because I don't recognize your name. There's a link to the Discord at the top of the live chat. There's a link to the Discord in the description of the video. It's a small group of people who do the stuff that we're doing tonight. If you do join Discord, we do 3 of these a week on different days on different YouTube channels. So if you go to Discord, there's an events tab. Just look at that. That'll have the proper YouTube channel. That'll have the proper topic that we're doing or book that we're reading or whatever. As you've noticed too, like people come on and talk. You can do that. If you join Discord and you hang out for a while and we get to know you a bit, then you can jump in these voice channels and you can, talk. Correct me if I say something wrong. I appreciate that more than anything. So that is a possibility. Just hang out with us for a bit. Let us get to know you, whatever. If you choose to join, there is an interview process because we have a good group. And so it's not all who apply will enter. But if you're a reasonable person and you're respectful and you genuinely just want to learn stuff, even if that means debating, then I'm sure it'll be totally fine and we'd love to have you. Beyond that, Saturday is not, my days are all messed up from the holiday. Saturday, we are doing another game night as far as I know. So unless something comes up for me, it would be at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's fun group games. So you'd like log in on a tablet or a phone or a computer if you're smart, because there are typing games, and we'll just play. It was super fun. I had a blast, and minorly inappropriate, but very, very fun. Good time. And then Sunday, we're in Genesis, wrapping up Genesis, and then we'll continue on chronologically. I will be posting the poll too for Tuesday because I don't think I did yet. Yeah, I didn't. So I'll post a poll for Tuesday's topic discussion, and I don't really have anything else. I hope everybody had a good holiday, and I'm going to try to catch up with whatever the hell happened in the chat because it sounds to be amusing. So if you guys don't have anything else, we will call it quits for the day.
No, I think it's dinner time.
I completely agree with that. All right.
It was fun though.
I mean, it's
I
good
love
stuff.
you, Chad. Everyone in chat. It was a good talk.
I'm about to breeze through this real quick. All right. Well, I love you guys. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you Saturday maybe for games. Games are on Discord only, not on YouTube. For the love of God, we'll probably never be on YouTube after our trial last week. And then Sunday, I'll see you for the Book of Giants. Have a lovely weekend and hope everybody had a good Christmas. Good night.
Night, guys. Love you.